If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, is free. Two, the creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Mandatory call to action. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey, what's up, gang? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy KJ coming back. It's been a minute. I hope everybody had a happy holiday, Christmas, and a happy New Year. And now we're back to the regular scheduled program. It is now 2021, and I am coming to you guys from Michigan. And it is 10 minutes to 1 a.m. in the morning. I wanted to come tonight because I want to address a couple of issues me and a homie were talking about. And so I would be featuring this individual on the podcast. Y'all are very familiar with who, but not necessarily going to talk on it, but I'm going to convey the message of what the person is saying. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, so we have a couple of topics this evening or morning, wherever you're tuned in from. So we're currently on East Coast Standard Time. So this is the thing. One concern is when your mate or a person that you're fucking with, whether it's discreet, platonic, or whatever, they play the victim, but when the focus should really be on you and they try to flip it back on them. That's one thing. Number two is when a person who you actually want to be with and you've been waiting for years, no matter how long, they'll reject you, you still stay positive and keep going. Some people will call that stalking. Some people will say it's called being consistent. Some people will say you a deranged ass fool and what the fuck you doing. And number three concern would be the person, like to them in their mind they seem like they're a good person, but they just keep attracting the wrong type of energy, and the person that's consistently on their trail, they mean that the individual don't want that person. They want the other person that's not interested in them. My question to you all is, what do one do that's you're attracted to them, but they're not attracted to you back? Or they got issues, instead of saying, oh, just move on, there's many more fish in the sea. I don't give a fuck what's in the sea. I want that one. So that's a concern. So, like I said, Richie is in my ear, but Richie got a background going on right now. So I'm going to convey what he is saying. So Richie, with that being said, we were discussing earlier how tolerance is a big thing, and you know I was big on this years ago, and you had made a good point. It's like you said, you could be at one's home or living quarters, should I say, and even though they're talking bad about you and you got no place to go, you're going to learn to tolerate it, correct? So can you expound on that? Like, what made you say that? Mm-hmm. Word, that's true. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what he is saying, he's saying based off his experience. So listen, see, my thing has been this. I used to tell Richie like a good handful of years ago. I used to be like, "Oh, this is the situation. You're just tolerating this person." But I think it became really relevant to him when he gotten older, you know what I'm saying? And he used to be like, "Oh, I'm not tolerating this person. This is my wife. I'm supposed to do that." But in all actuality, you don't have to do that. Um, so that's just some concerns that we have. You said
you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's okay to tolerate certain things in a relationship.
Right. Okay. I can hear you. Go ahead.
So as long as they don't go against your own personal beliefs, morals, and values as a person, I feel like it's okay.
Okay.
You know, when it starts to change you, and it feel like it's draining you, then that's when it becomes a problem.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, like I was saying a little bit earlier when we first tuned in. So, how about this? How you want a certain type of woman, but she constantly plays victim all the time. You want to be with her, but she's not willing to alter for the better or for the mental state of you and your well-being. What you think about that? Can you talk from experience specifically and in general as well?
I feel like at that point, you do have to choose if it's worth the fight. Of course, every person is not going to have everything that you 100% want. You probably got some flaws that you might not like. But it's, I think it's all about just figuring out if you're able to tolerate it or not.
True. Okay, well.
And at that point, though, what you just asked, you have to decide if that's something that you can even live with. You know what I mean? Now that has to be a self decision, because you got to be like, well, damn, you keep doing this, and because I feel like if that person has been doing it for so long, they stuck in their ways and they can continue. So now you have to take yourself out the situation or figure out how you're gonna deal with the situation.
Okay, that's a good point. So I want my followers and listeners to tune in and let me know. Email me. Tell me your experience. I really would love to hear from you, because myself and Richie, we be having deep conversation thoughts. Like, for instance, I'm gonna just tap in on this one. One thing about Richie and I, we will go through an experience with, say, a certain person that you're dealing with, like my exes, for instance. Like, who can I use for an example?
I do feel like this, though. I feel like the females that we have had in the past, I think that we can tolerate more anyway than they can. I think if the shoe was on the other foot, a motherfucker would have been left.
Right, exactly. Agreed.
So, I definitely feel like we can tolerate more than anybody else can. Yeah. And that probably is the problem.
Our tolerance level is so high.
Laid back and we so just like, okay, let's just go with the flow. That people think that they can just act a certain way or be a certain way and it's okay, and it's not,
Okay.
Like, just because I'm cool, don't just step on my toes, because I'm not going to get up.
And take advantage.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, don't do that. Don't purposely be toxic because I'm going to stick around just because I'm just so laid back that I don't really even give a fuck enough to even argue with you, or I just let you have that argument. Or I'll let you win and I'll let you do that. Just so we won't have to be in no bad place and have no bad blood between us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably, I definitely one of our flaws would be just being too nice.
Too lenient.
Yeah, for real.
I almost definitely will say that. Okay, so with that being said, like, I'm gonna say an ex, kind of like an ex indirectly, because we dealt with each other so many years, and you know who I'm talking about. I'm quite sure they know who as well, because I mentioned her a couple of times. We're talking about Riri. So, okay. You know her fairly well, correct?
Right.
Alright. Now, let's take her for an example, because we already know she ain't going to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could be wrong. Okay. If we take Riri, we know Riri has had flaws. But at the same token, she's a good individual. There's certain good individual things about her, right?
Mm-hmm.
You often told me things like she a good parent, or you'll say things like she has a cool personality, she a great listener. What do you say when a person has those good things about them, but then the flaws comes in of insecurities, anxieties, like that?
I think that's all tolerable. I think that is what I'm saying. Like, I think stuff that you tolerate is situational. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of that comes from stuff she probably dealt with in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, still trying to get through a lot of trauma in life. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's something that she can pretty much help herself.
Yeah.
So that to me is not necessarily a deal breaker.
Yeah, that's like, that's petty,
Yeah, that's not really a deal breaker. It's more like just learning how to love her through it, or learning how to just,
like you said,
get your feelings out of it,
and
then just and love her through it.
Okay, now with that being said, okay, so you know our situation. Okay, how I held on for so long, many years, and even till this day. How do you think you would have handled the situation differently, whether from myself and that perspective and her? Like, can you speak from both parties, and not you speaking because you my brother, but you saying it from the outside looking in? Okay, you know how she feel about things, but at the same,
I think I would have kept it more like a friendship. I think by her like talking to her a few times that we did, that I did, and kind of just trying to get to know her personality through the phone, and just a brief shit about what she been through. I think that I would have had to be her friend first, because I felt like she's never had that, and she needs that. Everybody else, or everybody automatically wants a relationship with her for whatever reason. And be like, okay, look, I want you, and this is what it is. And I feel like she
start on my baby.
I feel like she never had no friend.
Okay.
To just walk her through a lot of stuff. I think she, and then like with her having anxiety and shit, that's just a scared person.
That's forceful too, in a sense. Yeah, so, I agree.
I think that would have been like the best approach, because I feel like she wanted that.
All right, let me ask you this then, okay? Since we're going there. Do you believe, okay, the 6 years her and I knew each other, did it feel, or I ain't even gonna say feel, because I'm saying that like if me and you were in a relationship, which we're not. I mean, we have our own type of relationship, but not on that level. Do you believe that I was very patient and tolerable, even though I don't like to use tolerant on certain things? Do you believe that I was, even though it wasn't conveyed